our connecting flight to go to Mobile, Alabama, and we're going to be hosted there by Reverend John Whitfield. He's the president of the Alabama Association of CDCs, and he is going to be talking about community land trust at this conference that happens to be going on today.
Starting the very first community land trust in America in new communities in Albany, Georgia.
So community land trusts are a way of sharing ownership between the community and the homeowner. It's a way of making sure that people's homes are affordable over the long run, even when they change owners. And it also makes sure that property values stay stable, which helps the community. So the CLT owns the land, and the homeowner owns the property that sits on the land. And this means that both parties have an incentive to work together so that everything works.
So this afternoon, what we want to really do is, as I said earlier, to continue from this morning and to drill down just a little bit deeper, because this is going to give us an opportunity to see what the community land trust is all about. Now, the key to making this work, and I'm going to, nobody's in here one yet, but you have a community outreach coordinator. To me, that is probably one of the most crucial positions within the CLT. This is everybody's auntie, everybody's grandmother, everybody's best friend. But they're the best friend who can tell you, baby, you better get your house paid. And if you need it paid, we'll help you. You need to get that car out of the driveway, because that's just not pretty. Now you say, well, now that's getting in folk business. Now remember, what does the CLT own? The land.
So where are you taking us to?
We're going to Grand Bay.
Grand Bay?
Just talked with Danny, and he's anticipating our arrival.
The Alabama Association got off to a really tough start in 2008 with a tragedy that struck its very first executive director. Sandy said that there was a murder involved.
And it shot the whole organization into a tailspin for a while. And Pastor Jones came in, and it took a while to kind of get everybody settled back down. You know, our ultimate goal is to get someone on the ground here in Alabama. It's the only way it can really be effective. You need someone to be able to really go out and visit communities and sit down with someone on-one. Let's sit down and find out where are you?
Yeah.
Where you want to go?
Yep.
How can we help? Well, this is Lighthouse CDC. It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's gorgeous.
You know,
this is,
and you think about, okay, they're talking about 800 to 1,000 people in this building on Sunday. Where did they come from?
800 to 1,000 people?
Yeah.
Well, they got plenty of parking, that's for sure.
You know, it's all a part of helping the whole person. You know, you probably heard it before. You know, everybody, it's not just spiritual, but it's the natural things we have to deal with, emotional things, etc. So that's one of the reasons why we created this little space. So to help the people, not just
on Sundays in the church, right?
But all through the week.
Yeah.
Help them get lifted up out here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys could make it.
This is
Let
great.
me show you around a little bit. This is what we built this. The people out here built this. I went to I think it was called Abyssinia Community Development Corporation up in New York City, up in Harlem.
Yeah.
I went up there in 2002. And I spoke with them about what they were doing with their community development outreach. Very strong, church-based, very strong organization. They had a payroll at that time of about $2 million. So I knew where I was going because a friend of mine said, you know, you need to check them out if you talk about doing something like this. So I went up there on my own nickel, just flew up there, sat down with those folks for a day and learned as much as I could. Came back here, this was all a field. There's a cemetery on the back, but then all this was field. I talked with the pastor next door and said, you know what? You work on the spiritual side, you need help working on the natural side. People are doing things. And I said, would you give the land that we could build up a community development corporation? And he deeded the land over to the community development corporation, the land where we're standing. So from here, going that direction, all the way to that field, the belongs to the Community Development Corporation. Their reach is so strong that even the families that want to buy houses out here that have children see why they need to be in this space.
We're in Alabama.
This is Alabama, though.
Is this Alabama?
Yeah, this is.
I see an oyster down here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oyster shield, man.
There's the plant I
See
told you
all of
about right there, that blue building. That's
Yeah,
an
that's
oyster processing plant. See all
There
those
you go.
oysters back behind it?
Who are you going to sell this home to?
A family that will most likely buy this house. There's it's probably a 4 or 5 person family, husband and a wife with 3 children, possibly 2 to 3, and they work in the biobattery area, seafood processing area, shipbuilding and repair area just down the way.
Okay.
They have very, very minimal savings. Their combined incomes are probably right around $30,000, $35,000. We don't own the subdivision, but we have put these homes in here. This first house right here on your right, we built with Community Development Corporation, where you just left, built that home through the home program. That's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, about 1,600 square feet.
This is the alternative.
That's how it looked, yeah.
That's the alternative.
That's what.
There you go.
Right.
That's the
There
alternative.
you go. Good night and day.
There's some people. Come on. Malik, look.
When did you become aware of this thing called community development?
It started by somebody telling me I couldn't do something because of what I didn't have. It's what made me want to give to those that don't.
Talk to me about the role of faith in your work.
Very influential person in my life, my former pastor, shared with me the idea that, yes, I see that in you. He said, God is going to honor that and he's going to open some doors for you, but you're not to stay there. Needless, I didn't want to hear that. So because I could visualize my picture on the front of Black Enterprise. But he said, no, it's for you to learn and bring that information back. And then he shared something that was very interesting. He says, God wants you in business, but he wants you in his business. And that stuck with me from then to now. Because I realize and know that the things that I've learned and the experiences that I've had were not necessarily for me personally, but to speak into the lives of others. They help them not make some of the mistakes that I made. They help them to know and realize that if they desired it hard enough and were willing to put up the hard work and be willing to really roll the proverbial sleeves up, that nothing's impossible.
I feel like my perspective on community development has really changed. The fact that they're doing it. You have people like Danny Patterson, John Whitfield, who just are not daunted by that and just keep doing it. And I totally got the sense that this is like it's a personal mission. It's like a calling that's like deep within them, from their early experiences, childhood experiences, to who they are and how they relate to the world, on a spiritual level. That they're able to make it work, and make it work really kind of eye-opening, surprising ways.